These lessons are recorded using 4K UHD video assets with aspect ratio 21:9 and 3840 by 1600 resolution, to mimic studio-wide films, and utilize ultra-wide monitors for editing, which is most efficient, or use 2 monitors minimum. You can use your own media with any resolution when following these lessons. We'll do our best to zoom when needed, best if viewed on a 4K monitor while learning these techniques.
With our rough cut finished, we can move into the edit page for additional, or more advanced, editing work. Notice that we go from this single viewer setup into a dual viewer setup. So, by default, on the edit page, you always have your source visible here in the left-hand viewer. The right-hand viewer is always showing you the current time indicator from the current timeline. You can change monitoring to a single viewer monitoring like the cut page if you like. And then, if I want to see the source viewer, press Q to toggle between source and timeline. Notice the color change here on top. One of the great tools we can use for setting in and out points, especially on dialogue, are audio waveforms. Click the 3 dots on left monitor or source side. Choose Show Zoomed Audio Waveform. And this can really make it easy for us to set our endpoint. So, you can see that there's a little current time indicator right there. I can bring that right to where I see him start talking on the audio waveform, mark my endpoint there. We can also have the Show Full Clip Audio Waveform. And now, you're seeing the waveform for the entire length of this clip. And you can see the little gaps in here, and if you did multiple reads, you can kind of just bounce to the beginning of each read just by looking at your audio waveform. But in our video we have plain engine sounds mixed in. As this video has already been edited.
The 747 was the plane which was the opening shot in the aviation evolution, the long haul for all.
Actual audio clips have a slightly different display. Let's open up our bin here, switch over to the music, and double-click into that. And now, what we've got is a dual waveform setup. On the bottom is our zoomed-in view, on the top is the full length of the clip. And I can quickly jump to any portion of this waveform just by clicking in the upper view. And then, in the lower view, that's just a display, there's no actual navigation. To navigate on the lower view, I'd use either the little slider here, or I do have this jog wheel available to me, just like we had in the cut page, where I click, hold, and drag left or right. And I can kind of use that to dial in, maybe on a particular beat or sound. Switching gears over here to the timeline side, I clicked on the timeline viewer, you saw that this timeline went orange, that means now all my controls are happening on the timeline side. So, if I hit J, K, and L, and I play backwards, that's on the timeline. Again, you can use the Q button to toggle back and forth. I keep repeating that because it's a fantastic shortcut you really need to understand. Now, here's another shortcut, this little button down here is match frame. Now, I want to work on this shot again, and I want to find it, I want to pull it up on my source viewer, because I think there might be a better take of it. So, what I can do is just go here and press this button. And now, it has pulled up the exact frame of this clip on the timeline here on the source viewer. Let's come here to the last shot, and on the cut page, we've done a zoom on this. And I want to show you that we do have on-screen widgets here, so we've got the transform tool. Now, we did a zoom in, so I have to kind of shrink this down in the viewer. So, I can either drop this down to, let's say, 12.5%, and now you can see the wireframe that I can drag in order to reframe this shot. And I can also click on the middle to move it around. And then, to get the actual image fully filling this viewer, I'll come up to this widget, click Fit, and now it's back full screen.